Alright guys, I'm posting this video because I'm having a little bit of an issue with my first gen Tacoma. It's a 2002 3.4, and I'm basically trying to figure out right now whether or not I need new motor mounts, new transmission mount, or what is going on with it. But basically, so if you can look at my shifter knob right now, not a stop sign, my shifter knob's like moving with acceleration, with braking, especially when it's on like bumpy road. Like right now this is pretty smooth, so it's not that bad, but you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but the shifter knob moves backwards as I accelerate, and I can feel like when I grab it, you can feel that it's moving backwards. And then when I start to brake, I can feel it start to move forward again. It's like, you know, it feels like it's moving with the car, and I've never had any other vehicle do something like that. On top of that, and I feel like this is part of the same issue, I feel like kind of a clunkiness sometimes if I stop kind of hard, I guess you could say. It kind of feels like the engine kind of like, or maybe not the engine, but the car itself, it feels a little clunky sometimes. Like it's like, I struggle to say that it's hesitating, because it doesn't sound like the engine's not hesitating, but it'll feel like almost like it's not stopped correctly, like it's not sitting correctly. And then when I press the gas, it'll like kind of like hesitate for a second before it takes off. But yeah, I just don't know what exactly is going on. So I've looked through forums and stuff, and from what I have read, you know, I did the like test of looking at the engine through, I don't know if you could see that, looking at the engine with the hood up, putting some load on the engine, you know, stepping on the gas. The motor did not move at all, surprisingly. I was expecting it to kind of move a little bit, but it literally didn't even move the way that most people say it will move. That would be like kind of in a normal range. It didn't even do that at all. So now I'm trying to figure out, well, if it's not the motor mounts, I'm guessing it might be the transmission mount, but I just don't know if something like this, if the shifter moving like this, I don't know if you can see that slight movement, but it does it more on bumpy roads and stuff, but it just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Like it feels really weird, and I don't know, the car doesn't feel totally like stable, I guess you could say. It feels kind of shaky. The one other thing that I'm trying to figure out, which I have read but I haven't looked totally into, is I have read about people talking about that there's like a rear end like sway bar, differential bar, or something like that, that I've read about, that can also make the truck feel like it's not exactly stable. You know, this problem isn't that bad right now. Like it's not something that I feel all the time. It's also coupled with the fact that I'm pretty certain I need new shocks all the way around. So I think that might be compounding this issue, but any light that anybody could shed on this, let me see if I can try to, any light that anybody could shed on it would really be helpful. It's not really showing it, but you can see kind of moves, and like it's hard to describe, but I could describe it. It would be easier for you to understand what I'm saying if you were here in the car. You could feel like basically every movement that the car is making, I can feel through the shifter. Like when it's accelerating, I can feel it move. When it's braking, I can feel it move. Like the shifter doesn't feel stable. I would say that it's just the link, like the cable and stuff, which I have read about that. But the thing is I feel like it's coupled with the fact that the car feels like clunky sometimes when I stop. I feel like it's the same issue, which is why I'm wondering, you know, if anybody's had to replace their transmission mount or anything like that. I'm wondering if that might be, you know, a symptom that you experienced before you replaced your transmission mount. But anything you guys can do to help, you know, just more information. The car's a 2002. It's got 113,000 miles. So it's not, you know, that worn in, you know, especially for a first gen Tacoma. But yeah, anything anybody can do to help or any advice would be really appreciated. Thanks.